A lot of times, any treatments you do, whether it's needling or peels or
For sure.
lasers, you do look worse at the beginning, right? That's what has to happen.
Sure.
It has to look worse. We're wounding. We're
Because
creating
you're
an urgency.
breaking down that scar tissue too. Like if it does start to look worse, it's actually a very good sign.
It is a good sign that we actually did something.
Yeah, it means it's working. Hey there. So we have been watching the group,
Yep.
as you know. So many followers in there. How many?
Well, there was 4,000 to 6,000 last time I actually looked at the number.
Yeah.
There could be more than that now, but I mean, it takes
Right.
time to grow. But there's a lot of people on there. There's a lot of daily activity.
There
right? So if
is.
you're not in the group already, please join Platinum Skincare
Yeah.
Gurus on Facebook.
Yeah, we're going to dive into a couple of questions that we see quite often. One is scarring, acne scarring.
Yep.
The second one is, can you do peels during the summer months?
Yeah, and that's just a nonstop question.
It's seriously. So, but these are pertinent questions that, are asked frequently, and we are going to answer them for you today.
Yeah.
So let's deep dive into acne scars.
Right.
It's troubling when somebody has some scarring. It takes a long time for those scars to come.
Yep.
So thinking they are going to go away in one treatment is not very logical, but we
Realistic,
want
yeah.
that, but it's something that you have to work on diligently.
Yeah, and so what we normally do, if somebody has a scar, obviously, so let's think, what causes a scar is a pimple that is an inflamed pimple,
Yeah.
right? Because you might have like a bump at the top, but you also have that bump underneath the skin.
Yes, you
And when
do.
that heals, a lot of times this stays tethered down and you're like left with a little hole.
Yes.
Like that would be like an ice pick scar.
For sure.
Sometimes multiple ice pick scars together
Yes.
create bigger scars. And anytime that we have a depressed scar like that, where it's going into the skin, we call it an atrophic scar. Right? Hypertrophic obviously is raised, like a keloid or
Yeah.
something. So in order to fix that, we need to break down all those little tethers holding that skin down.
Yeah.
Because it's healed in that inflamed state and it's pulling that skin down.
Sure.
But also collagen is damaged in the process of this
For sure.
huge inflammation and it going down. So collagen is damaged. There's no collagen to keep it nice and plump,
Yeah.
and it's pulling it down. There's like multiple things happening at once. So what we can do is we can use things like TCA or other mild acids. Not everybody wants to do a peel, and that's okay.
Sure.
You can use something like, serum 15 or serum 30. It's just going to take longer.
Right.
So we like to do the TCA, and you can just do a normal TCA peel because it'll ooze in there a little bit.
Sure.
Or you can do like the TCA 30 and do the cross.
Yes.
And that one I really like. That's when we're going to saturate that toothpick, get that, and we're going to get it deep in there,
Yes.
push down hard to get a little pinch feeling.
So that's for those
And
ice pick scars.
that's for the ice pick scars, yeah. And if you've got a couple of them next to each other, you can pick around there, right, and get the whole area nice and frosted. But unfortunately, when you do that, it's a little scary looking at first, and
It
people
is.
tend to panic, like the hole looks larger. Well, yeah, we're damaging that tissue, right?
Yes,
We're forcefully wounding that area and making it regenerate itself again. Like, let's try this again. It didn't heal well the first time. So we're going to re-injure it and force that renewal. So, a lot of times it doesn't look great afterwards. And the entire process, if you're doing the cross, it's like a 5-week process. So
is.
really day one, somebody posted in the group just today, well, this is what I look like after the cross. It looks terrible. It's like, well, sure.
Yeah.
A lot of times, any treatments you do, whether it's needling or peels or
For sure.
lasers, you do look worse at the beginning, right? That's what has to happen.
Sure.
It has to look worse. We're wounding. We're
Because
creating
you're
an urgency.
breaking down that scar tissue too. Like if it does start to look worse, it's actually a very good sign.
It is a good sign that we actually did something.
Yeah, it means it's working.
Now, don't expect it to look great in 2 days or 24 hours.
Right.
Don't expect it to look good in a week or 2 weeks. It's a 5-week turnaround,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
in 5 weeks, then we're going to be able to look at that picture from day one before you started, and then that picture, what's really going to be, on 37 days or whatever.
Sure.
Look at those pictures side by side, and you are probably going to see a little bit of a difference. I think most people do.
Sure.
Most people are like, wow, it looks a little bit better.
Yeah.
Some people, no. But I think for the most part,
Oh, yeah.
you have stimulated some sort of growth. It'll get a little bit tighter. And this is what I was telling the person in the group today, because yes, I do answer questions in the group every day. My thing is, where's your photos? You know, here was a photo of just, this is what I did this day. Where's your before photo?
Sure.
Where's your after photo? And then she did post an after photo, and I was like, well, it certainly looks better than the day you were doing the cross. I
Yeah.
said, where's your before photo? Because, and it may be up there by now because this was this morning, but
Sure.
I think when you look at that before photo and then that after photo, you're going to see changes.
Right.
But even that one time, that's not enough.
Sure.
Right? You might have to do it. Well, how many times are you going to have to do this?
A series.
It depends on your body. It depends on the scar. It could. You might have to do it 4 times. You might have to do it 8 times. You might have to do it 12 times.
Right.
I've done it before on a couple of little ice pick scars on my face. And I think what happens is, you know, you do it and then it just gets better. And then after a while, you literally don't even see it anymore. And I
Wow.
feel like that's a win at that point. You're
For
like,
sure.
I forgot I even had that, you know, because maybe if you look and zoom into a mirror and be like, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
It looks like a pore now. It doesn't look like a scar anymore.
Right.
But you got to be patient.
You got to be patient. You have to be consistent.
You have to be consistent. You have to go through. Every 5 weeks is good. If for some reason you're still a little bit red, let's say if you are a little bit red, you have
Yeah.
post-inflammatory erythema.
Yeah.
You can just use 1% hydrocortisone and put that on there.
'Cause that redness can stick around, let's be honest.
It can stick
That
around,
redness
just like
can
if it was
stick
a
around
pimple.
for a minute, yeah.
That redness could stay there for weeks and weeks, even
It
months
certainly can.
sometimes.
And that's frustrating.
Absolutely. So
But
you
it's
can,
just
you know,
time.
1% hydrocortisone is the treatment for that. That is the literal treatment, you
Yes.
know, in the manuals, in the dermatology manuals. Now, obviously, prepping is important, right? So you want
Yeah.
to make sure that you are prepping with your Fade Bright or hydroquinone. You want to use a retinoid. You want to be using your SPF. And you want to do that for at least 4 weeks before you start.
Correct.
And if you have, you know, olive skin tone or darker, like Fitzpatrick,
Super
4,
important to
5,
prep.
6, it is just uber important that you use your melanin inhibitor for at bare minimum 4 weeks. And you can use a lighter.
Yeah.
You don't have to do the 30. The 30 is great, yes. But you could do a 20 or you could do a 13.
Yes.
You know, I'd rather see you do a 13, you know,
Yeah.
poke it a couple times, you know, maybe
Yeah.
get 2-3 times and have that be the safest method for you so you don't end up with like a dark mark, like
Sure.
hyperpigmentation. We don't want that. But obviously prepping with your Fade Bright or hydroquinone, that's going to like cut that way down.
It reduces the risk highly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, you do want to use other things too, like the copper peptides. We're always talking about the copper peptides. And yes, you know, the acids, they're going to make your skin regenerate no matter what. But when you're adding things in, like the copper is so good for scars. I mean, like the Super Cop 2X.
Yeah.
This is the one where like even if you're just doing serum 30 on your face,
Sure.
we're like Super Cop 2X. Super Cop 2X, use that at least 3 to 5 times a week.
Yes.
Because yes, this can help to break down tissues as well. It can help to break down scar tissues, but it also helps to regenerate new normal, not
Yes,
scar tissue, new normal tissue. So this can speed along your TCA Cross or your just normal TCA peel, your acid.
It's going to
I
help
tell
to kind
everybody.
of flush that damage away. It's going to help it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you're scared of peels and you're scared of acids, you could use this on its own.
Sure.
And it's going to help. It's going to take a much longer time than if you're combining it with acids. Even Dr. Burkhart was like, combine this with
Sure,
acids.
yeah.
If you're targeting a scar, use an acid to break it down and use this to regenerate it. And it works amazingly. I mean, I've done it. I see
yeah.
photos of people
Oh,
that
for sure.
have done it all the time. I mean, it's a winner.
A little tip. Don't
Yeah.
use the Super Cop 2X until your scab has come off. I had a customer the other day call,
Yeah.
and she used the Super Cop 2X immediately.
The Piper.
And what happened to her was it kind of, the copper got in, and then the scab formed over.
Oh, so
the-
then she's got a dark
now
blue
she's
black
got a
scab
dark bluish mark on her face.
instead of
And
a
you-
flesh colored scab.
Exactly, and you can't remove that scab because you don't want to kind of tear the roof off when all that great stuff's happening
No.
under there.
Yeah.
So she was kind of in a situation, but then after that came off, 7-10 days later, she was
it's
okay.
Fine. It's fine. It's not going to permanently stain your skin.
It will not.
Not at all. It can have a selective uptake. I know he always called it into the scar tissue, but no matter what, it's always going to come off and go away. And
it will.
But yeah, I tend to tell people like 10 days. They're like, well, when can I use the Super Cop?
Great question.
Usually I want to say like when you do a cross, within, I don't know, 2 days or so, you can have a little bit of a scab in there, and it's skin colored, so you almost have to look into like a zooming mirror to see like, oh yeah, there's like a little bump in there. And you want that to stay in as long as possible, as long as that's attached, all that growth is happening. And if you don't see a scab, that's okay too. Sometimes you just can't see it. Sometimes it fell off early. But the longer you can keep it on, the better, so no scrubbing or anything like that. But once that comes off, usually, by 5 days, I would say it's pretty much off for most people. But if you can keep it on longer, do it.
Sure.
So I say about 10 days, then you can start using your Super Cap 2X. And I say 10 days because even when that scab comes off and it's healed closed, it's still sensitive.
For sure.
It's still freshly peeled skin with a very strong acid. I like to give it a good 10 days and then, just put a little on your finger, pat it into the hole and like wipe it off. You have a little blue dot on your face when you go to bed. Do it at nighttime, then it'll wash off in the morning. And then like every other day. That's why I say like 3 to 5 times per week, because I feel like if you do it every single day, you start to get red, you start to maybe get irritated and itchy, and you're going to have to cut back a few days. So just every other day it.
Yeah.
Or less, whatever works for you.
Another common question that we get when people are doing the cross method is, should I use Luminosity or Dream Peel?
Right, that's a really good thought, and I tell people no.
Yeah.
Right, because when you think about Luminosity, which is our 0.55 Fusion A, we like to use that or the Dream Peel, not only for the wonderful vitamin A benefits, but to kind of make your skin peel faster and more aggressively. What we don't want is for that scar that you're trying to keep a scab on to go up more quickly.
Right.
So I also tell people, like, if you're doing the cross and your full face, because you can do the cross first, wait your 5 minutes, and then, I'm going to do TCA 7 or 13 on my face. Go ahead and do that. If you want to do the Dream Peel at that point, that's okay, but I'm like, take a little dollop of Aquaphor or Vaseline or something and protect those areas that you did the cross on, right? Because you don't want that in there.
Form a little barrier.
Yeah, so I'm like, if you really wanted to do this, and end with Dream Peel, you can, but don't get the Dream Peel in those those cross-treated areas. Just make sure to protect those before you put the Dream Peel on.
Yeah.
Because you're not helping anything if you're making it more irritated, and the scab might not adhere well if it's, that vitamin A is making that skin turn over again or faster or multiple times.
For sure.
You just don't want that.
So aftercare, they are going to just keep the skin hydrated, moisturized, avoid
Aquaphor.
using any acids, vitamin C's, retinoids, anything like that for a few days.
Yep. Just, normal. Just be gentle with it.
And sunscreen, of course, if you're going out and about.
Of course. Just like anytime after a peel, you definitely need to use our SPF.
For sure. What about Regenerate? Does that help
I like Regenerate, So that's just a whole other thought of what else could we put on here.
Yeah, like I'm just thinking,
there are things.
When you're working on this, you want to throw everything at it. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it.
You're going to do it. And there's a couple of things that would work spectacularly.
Yes.
Number 1, epidermal growth factors.
Yes.
Number 2, exosomes. Number 3, PDRN. I mean, I think any or all of those,
Absolutely.
I would not be fearful to apply, just to freshly treated skin, right? Because those are all very healing, very gentle. And if you just did that peel, you're not putting your copper 2X on, but you could put your exosomes and your PDRN, you could mix all that together.
Right.
Your Regenerate.
What about our new
and then put the
recovery
Emo on
veil
top.
mask?
You could totally do that.
Yeah.
Totally do that. And then there's so much solution in that mask that you can just, once you take it off, you've got just tons in there. You can just get that all over the place, and you'll be nice and moisturized and fresh.
I love that mask.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Yes, that's a super one.
All right.
I don't know. Can you think of anything else? I don't know.
I think that's pretty good. I mean, the pre-treating is probably one of the most important parts, especially if you have an olive skin tone or darker.
For sure. But everybody should do it because anybody
Yes.
can get hyperpigmentation after
It
a
certainly
strong
can.
acid.
Yeah, I had that conversation with a customer during the sale. I was, took a lot of phone calls, and a lot of times they don't want to pull the trigger on that extra product, the Fade Bright. And it's not so much the cost of the product, it's the thought of having to use it for 4 weeks prior because they want to
Yeah, they want to do that peel now, and it's like, but it's best if you prep your skin.
And I always, reference, you could do 50 peels and never have an issue, and on that 51st peel, for no reason, nothing has changed, all of a sudden you could get PIH, and she was treating her lip lines. So this is an area you don't want PIH in because you'll look like you have a mustache.
Yeah, like melasma gets there too, yes.
And it's a very touchy area where you don't want to have pigmentation. You don't want to cause more issues. So I guess pre-treating is probably the biggest part, especially when you're using the stronger acids like TCA 30.
Yeah, and I would say, like, let's say you don't have a big budget, you're getting your acid in, how we say, like, we want you to prep, I want you using things like Fade Bright and retinoids and SPF. I think that's key. So if you can't get Fade Bright and Fusion A, just get Fade Bright because Fade Bright does have a retinoid in it.
It does.
So you are going to get some retin. I would love it if you used more stronger retinoids, but if you've got to pick one, just get the Fade Bright. And use that for your 4 weeks because you are going to be getting lots of different benefits from that Fade Bright, and then you will at least be prepared.
Sure.
And then
one
you're
other
good.
question I get often is, what kind of cleanser should I use after?
Oh, that's true, right?
We have a lot of acid-based cleansers, and I always say just try something gentle after, especially if you're doing the cross treatment. You don't want to try to disturb anything.
Yeah.
Don't aggressively scrub.
No aggressively scrub, no scrub brushes or Clarisonics or anything that you're trying to like vibrate anything out. Like we don't want to loosen anything. I tend to just use my acid cleanser no matter what I've done.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me at all. But if you are sensitive and if you're concerned, then use like a milder cleanser, whatever you have. Just don't use a bar of soap. For the most part, that's just way too alkaline. It's not helping your skin in any, make sure it's pH around 5 or lower.
Right.
If you're going to be washing your face with it, don't be picking some.
Got it. Well, I
shower
think that kind of concludes everything with the scar revision.
Yeah. So now let's move on to our next question, which
can
falls.
I do peels in the summer?
Yes, you so can. And I have this post, and people in the group. Obviously, we're talking about people in the group today. Every time that I'm asked that question, I'm like, see pinned posts. See pinned posts. It's right there. I said, there's probably 25 posts up there.
Sure.
Every single one of those posts up there is super, super important. And if you just come to the group on day one and you do nothing other than read those pinned posts, you'll be like, shoot, I know everything I need to know right here. I don't even need to be in this group.
It's a great place to start.
Everything is there. How to prep your skin, how to introduce Fade Bright, how to do all these different things. And of course, can I do peels? And there's a picture and it's got a girl with a big giant hat on. And the thing in there is, I mean, we have countries that don't ever have a winter time, right? They're sunny and beautiful every day.
So true.
And what do? They do their peels. You just have to make sure that you're staying out of the sun. You're not sun tanning.
Yeah, don't do a peel right before a Bahama cruise or a wedding or something. You want to give your skin some time.
Yeah.
Wait till after your vacation.
Yeah, what was that? I'm going on a cruise in 10 days. Should I?
No. Right.
Should I? No.
Let's face it, there's other options too. We have milder acids that can be used in the summer. We have many customers that will go to a mandelic or a lactic or something along those lines, and then they switch back to TCAs in the fall time. But
it's not mandatory.
No.
That's personal choice.
It is personal choice.
It is personal choice to go ahead and use a lighter acid if maybe you're just feel like I'm comfortable with the flaking. I feel like I'm going to be sweating. It's going to be uncomfortable. I don't want a heavy peel. Okay, well, if that's your reasoning, that's fine. Do like the mandelic
Yeah.
40 or Mandelic 22 if you really don't want any visible peeling.
Yeah.
I think those are fine. But, you know, you can do a TCA peel, do a TCA 7. If you normally do a 20, do a 7
Sure.
at 2 or 3 layers and get
Yeah.
milder flaking. Like,
Yeah.
I love that 7%.
Let's talk about that a little bit, because that's a question I often get asked is, how much peeling am I going to get? Well, you're going to get less peeling with 1 layer of a 7 or 13 than you would with 4 or 5 layers.
For sure.
So start always with 1 to 2 layers to kind of gauge your skin, right, to see how it's going to react.
Yep.
I mean, per the peel manual, you could do that 1 layer every 2 weeks, even with TCA. But
Yeah.
once you get past that 2 layers, then good rule of thumb is
once a month.
Yeah.
And then if you're like, you know, 4 or 5 layers, then it's like bumping you back from like 4 to 7 weeks.
Yeah.
But follow that. You know, people are always asking, that's another thing in the group every day. Well, when can I do this? I did this. When can I do this?
yeah.
I'm like, see your peel manual. Paste. Here, like I did a TCA 13 at 3 layers. You know, when can I do another one? And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
See your peel manual.
And they're
like it's
inside
all in
this
there.
box. They're in this box.
It's in there.
I get emails sometimes, and they'll send me a picture of their box.
I
and they're
didn't get a manual.
And I'm like, oh,
Open it.
It's inside. It's inside there.
Yes.
Yeah, it's in
And
there.
if you lose it, just go to our website
Yes.
too. Scroll to the bottom and it says peel directions or peel instructions. I'm not sure which it says.
Yes.
And there's like the bottom menu. Just click that and our entire peel manual is there.
Yes.
It's like page. It's not like text. It's exactly how it looks in the peel
right.
manual. So you can like, because this is what I do. And people are like, when can I do that? So I go, okay, TCA, here's the chart. I copy the chart.
Yeah.
Sometimes I circle it, arrow it, and paste it.
Sure.
And I'm like, it's right here.
Yes.
You know, and I keep telling them, like, you don't have to memorize this. You don't have to ask this.
Right.
It's right there. Just open it when you need the information and then save your peel manual.
Right.
You know, you don't need to, like, well, I don't know. When do I have to stop retinoids? Well, you want to stop them 4 to 6 days prior, but you don't have to
Sure.
memorize this. It's on page 2, I think, of the peel manual. Might be page 3. Page 1 is just the chart. Page 2 tells you how to prep. Page
Sure.
3 tells you, you know, what you can and can't do and how to do, you
Yeah.
know, test spots and all that kind of stuff. If you just read the first 3 pages, you know everything you need to know.
Yeah. Question I'm getting a lot is sweating in peels in the summer, because you know you're outside, you're gardening, so you might have that big hat on, you might have the sleeves
you're still gonna
on.
sweat.
You're still gonna sweat, right? So it's a little.
So how does
iffy.
that relate to peeling,
Yeah,
right?
how does
So-
that relate to like peeling? Even, you know, like I had one lady who wears the arm sleeves because she gardens, but she lives in Arizona. So it's hot.
100
She goes
degrees.
out early in the morning or late at night. You know, they do all the things, but you're still going to sweat.
Yeah.
And, you know, your body doesn't peel for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So
you can get the little
You can get those little
blister look.
bubbly-
They're just filled with sweat.
Yeah.
And they will reabsorb, but they don't look pretty.
No.
You know, so the very best thing you can do is not sweat.
I know.
Right? So
Yeah.
your number one goal, if you're doing summer peels, is not to sweat.
Sure.
So you don't want to do a peel and then go do hot yoga or
pickleball.
or pickleball
This
or
one
go
lady
on
did
a bike
pickleball,
ride
and
if that
she's like,
makes
I'm
you
in a
sweat.
pickleball league. What am I going to do?
Well, if you're in your league and you go once a week, you know, I always tell people you can time things.
Yeah,
You know, if
yeah.
you want to get the majority of their flaking done at a certain time, if I have my weekends off, I want to do my peel on either a Tuesday night
Yeah.
or a Wednesday night, because I know it's going to take about 3 to 5 days to start flaking,
Sure.
and then another 3 to 5 days to finish. So you've got a 7 to 10 day window. And if you want to really start flaking on Friday night, you know,
Yeah.
do your peel on Tuesday or Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And then by the time you get home from work Friday night, then you're like, oh no, now your face starts. So you got Saturday, Sunday
Yeah.
to get, and you will have most of that off.
Sure.
There'd be just little bits and pieces. You go to work, get the dermazyme enzyme mask, and get most of that off, and
That's
you'll be
nice.
like, no one will even know you did a peel.
I think my pickleball lady, I think we decided on Mandelic for her for the summer.
Yeah,
She
because
was-
even
yeah.
if you do sweat a little bit, at
Yeah.
least there's not like a bunch of thick layers of skin where that
Yeah.
is stuck under there.
Sure.
And if you do sweat, I guess I want to say, if you do get these little bubbles, you know, don't pop them. Don't try to peel the skin off. The problem with these little bubbles is that they're pushing the skin off the surface
Yeah.
quicker than it needed to be. It's like your skin stays attached until all this underlying skin is ready to be on its own.
Sure.
If this is still attached and that's forcing it off, then this skin's probably pink.
Yeah.
And it's not ready to see the light of day. And you
No.
take that off, and now the sun's going to hit it,
Yeah.
and you're running risk of getting hyperpigmentation
Yeah.
or erythema.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. You know, you want to keep the skin on as long as humanly possible.
Yes.
But so if it does start bubbling and lifting, if you don't sweat anymore, it will kind of reabsorb and you're good.
Yeah.
And then just let it come off when it's ready. Just leave that protective layer on.
Sweating with sunscreen, that's been a common question too.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
it.
just keep reapplying it, you know. And I did actually go to the Coats website and did a little deep dive, and I believe most of their formulas are waterproof for like up to 80 minutes or something, I thought it said. But I would reapply every hour if you're sweating or in the water, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do find, though, like, if you can find one of the hats, like, I have probably about 4 or 5 hats, and if they're really big, you are in the shade. You know, unless you're,
Sure.
like, on the water physically and it's, like, bouncing up and hitting your
Yeah,
face.
yeah.
You're in the shade when you're shaded, so you're pretty safe.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it's not too bad.
So it can be done. Peels can happen all year round. You just have to kind of schedule them around some things, maybe alter what type of acid.
Here's a couple of alternatives, right? Okay, so let's say you don't want to do peels in the summertime. What else can you do?
Yeah.
You've got options like, okay, I don't want to do a peel, but I still want that nice exfoliated skin. Like,
Sure.
have you tried Serum 15? This is for people
Sure.
that, you know, this is like your alternative. If you're like, am I going to do a glycolic 30 or am I going to just use Serum 15 a few times a week?
Yeah.
Because it's really, this is a very low pH, not as low as a peel. It's like in the 4s.
Yeah.
But this will make your skin come off, not flake-wise, but you will be very smooth. We want you to start this maybe 2 or 3 times a week. Don't be too aggressive with this. Don't start with the 30. Start with Serum 15.
Yeah.
Great way to get the dead skin off. Obviously, our acid cleansers are a great way to get the dead skin off.
For sure.
If you don't need to get the dead skin off and you just want to do treatments, well, then take a look at the needling. Do the alchemy microinfusion. You can do the Soleos mask, like LED, and the lasers. I mean, it doesn't matter when you do that. It doesn't matter when you needle.
True.
Neither of
Yes.
them makes you more sensitive to the sun.
Yeah.
The mask is healing, like if you were to get a sunburn or something like that, or if you did your peel or you did your cross treatment. And you can put those masks on, and that will help your skin to heal faster, regenerate new skin faster.
What mode would you do on
I
the
would
new
do red.
Soleos? You do the red?
I think I would do red, or I would let it cycle through. Like I like that morning one that cycles through all the
That's
colors.
nice. Yeah.
But you know, the first one I think is just the red.
Yeah.
Because red is like that healing one.
Got it.
That's more so for the healing. So I think I would probably concentrate on red or let it cycle through.
Okay.
Because I did have somebody ask me that the other day.
Sure.
What color should I put on?
Yeah.
Red predominantly, red infrared.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah.
And like you said, we ship all over the world. So there are countries that we ship to where it is sunny all year around. And, you know, even here in the United States, you know, we have California, we have Florida.
Florida,
we have,
and
Arizona.
the Bahamas, Arizona, right? There's New Mexico. There's places that are hot. Texas, all year long, sunny, 90 degrees, 100 degrees.
But if you're not comfortable, we've given you some alternatives.
Yeah.
Microinfusion is a great way to go, or some milder serums.
Yes.
And just keep yourself moisturized. Slather on the sunscreen often.
Wear
wear
that
your
hat, I'm
hats.
telling
Wear
you.
your sunglasses. Your protective clothing, and you'll be all set.
Yeah. Have a great summer.
Yeah.